Good evening, everybody, and welcome to some more Zelda 1 Randomizer Swiss Week 2. We've got a really good one that I had kind of circled once I saw this matchup. Mocco71 on the left, CaffyJD on the right. My name is Tracy, and with me today is Fury SK. How you doing, Fury?
Oh, we're excited for this one. It's what time does the race start versus full clear Caffey? Who's gonna win?
We'll see. I know Caffey's been working really hard at playing these. It doesn't get to stream it as often because you get the old dad percent going on, so he's having to play a lot of these offline, but has put in a lot of work. And Mako, consummate professional, always working really hard, playing a lot of the races. Honestly, I feel like this is one of it's just really a top matchup.
Yep, there's a lot of good ones this week, but this is near the top as well. It shouldn't take them too long. It's always the age-old question of what side of this overworld you get to start on. There's a couple of bad spots, especially with enemies on the overworld being rotated with dungeon enemies. You could get a really, really naughty one.
Yeah, but the worse the overworld is, the easier the dungeons are. I will take my lumps early with those bad overworlds if I can have an easier dungeon. And yeah, we'll see what we get here.
Quick rundown as they get underway. It's 5 to 8 Triforces. We will be looking for 9 early to figure out how many we need. Hey, they look really synced as well. Look at them go. But we have 5 to 8 Triforces, and we have the dungeon heart shuffling with the staircase item, so you can have the heart in the staircase, and you can have like a sword on the floor, the white sword, any sort of shenanigans there. The other good and fun time as we see level 8 immediately is they could very well look through any sort of number of dungeons for like the special bow, the ladder, all that sort of stuff, but they won't have to go to 9, which is something that a lot of the tournaments have had recently, so it's always nice to not have to worry about going to 9 to dig, say, like a bow, and then going back out for silvers.
Yeah, I seem to remember some of those shenanigans in last tournament. I think one of them was actually one of your races. But getting back to these two, yeah, we saw level 8. One of the things I really like about the new dungeon heart shuffle algorithm is that it's a little more worth to walk into some of these not, it used to be you'd maybe go into 1, maybe go into 2 because you get a free floor item. Now any dungeon can have that free floor item, so there's a little more incentive to do just a little bit of checking. I was like, well, I'm gonna draw a little bit of attention. Caffey getting hit by the bubble to make sure he doesn't get eaten by the like, because without a sword, that's just an immediate up A.
Yep, looks like an immediate leave, though. There's not a lot of access points outside of maybe going right in this room that Mako's in right now. I didn't see many options.
Yeah, I don't think either one of them left that rupee boss. It was somewhat near start, would have been a good farm, but hopefully that's not what we need in terms of money. And there goes that rupee boss, because Caffey going team middle and losing 45. Fortunately, you can't go negative rupees in this game.
Well, what's interesting is there is a very nice positive value there, so if it really comes down to it, it's just a little bit of chance to get that plus 60. Unfortunately, took the death on the aptly named Death Armos, yep, because there are enemies spawning on it.
Yeah, let's see if he goes, prioritizes the east or the west. A lot of times if I die on that Death Armos screen, I will do the Grave Armos and do the screen wrap into the Death Armos. I try and get it at a different angle.
Yep, Hot Pink 5 at Vanilla 1.
Oh, wow, a tale of two gambles. Mako getting a plus 60. Might be able to, good chance he could buy a candle if we were to find one here.
Be pretty spectacular if this is like a candle shop here as well.
Letter for Caffey. Oh, wow. That's big for Mako. Now, Caffey will get a candle at some point. We'll get enough money to buy the candle. But Mako's going to be able to start digging these locations right now. It's going to distract him a little bit from things like swords and Armos items, but that overworld exploration will pay off later. Or, you know, if level 3 has something like a sword or a wand lying on the floor, it could pay off right now. Or we could have blue dark nuts.
Yeah, the other thing we have is we have that one key that Mako got by going right in level 6. So instead I'm going to pirouette and see if we can take a key door for free.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't want to spend that key this early. For our first take any for Caffy, of course the take any's in, we don't have extra candles on, so the take any's will not have that candle.
Yep, gonna go ahead and burn this room in probably 3 goes. Maybe 4 if we get really bad luck, but it looks like we're gonna get good luck. I think it's worth it. It's a staircase, potentially.
Yeah, I like it. I wouldn't do it if it was, you know, with the gels at most 1 HP. Yeah, not too bad. The level 3 segment strikes again. It's become a meme between me and Caffy. All the level 3s that have had segments lately. It just seems like it happens around, not right, whether I play a seed, whether I watch a seed, whether I call a seed. It just seems to be happening for dumb reasons.
The lead room in dungeons being forced down to the bottom row, I think I've said it a couple times now,
Yep, so have I.
will lend to at least one of the first 6 being segmented just because it needs the extra room. There's only 16 spots that they can be located in. 6 are taken by those 6. So if any one of them goes 3 or 4 across, it's going to force the other one, at least one of the other ones, to go 1 across instead.
Yep, the non-dungeon non-start shuffle seems to be really lending itself to exactly what you're describing, and when it doesn't, we get these very vertical dungeons. I kind of miss the shuffle. Now I get it; it's easier to track when your start room is always at the bottom. But, you know, when those segments happen, it becomes just kind of the same tracking issue. So it's not as advantageous as one might think. We have some Annie roads. Okay, and these aren't exactly great. Vanilla level 5 will get us a few checks, and up to the northeast where Mako just had walked to. Yeah, these aren't great. Not terrible. It'll get you a little bit. Oh, and a 2 rupee small secret is not great.
Yeah, so far the gambling game has really been the only major difference, I'd say.
Yep. Yeah, Caffy's seen that blue candle shop, so we'll be able to buy the blue candle. It's like 57 rupees, so he will. It shouldn't take him too long to get. Oh, well, there's our first sword, and it's not the wood sword.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be helpful. Especially with these 2 runners, it's going to really speed them up.
Yeah, I feel like without the extra candles on, it's not quite the same impact, as now, you know, you're not going to get that free candle in the wood sword cave to pick up. But, you know, the impact is more just the fact that you're, well, getting a white sword at the very beginning, which is really nice.
Yeah, this 104 secret that Caffy's about to walk into is going to make that candle very affordable, so it shouldn't take too long to route that back in after making some other kind of routing choices, maybe to the west here.
Yeah, I don't like to leave these 2 spots unchecked. It's a little less of a big deal because he's not looking for that wood sword. He's going to try and get a bomb drop from the Lionels, does get one. But yeah, you know, people talk about the Death Mountain spot as the worst wood sword location. I think it's actually this spot, these 2 spots over here. Because it's so, if you take a death here, you're just never coming back.
Well, we have the white sword item. A candle is very much required, as the desert candle spot is the bow. So we will be back there with more hearts, maybe for Mako, and Mako only, if 4 happens to be the number, because Caffy will be able to get it as soon as he gets the candle at that point.
So interesting. Just an interesting side note of that wood sword being in the waterfall cave. One of the things that was discovered when we were doing a deep dive into looking at seeds, and by we I don't mean me, was that the sword was never spawning in that waterfall cave. So it's really interesting to see the wood sword in the waterfall cave there, even though neither one of our runners is going to actually pick it up.
And there's a few different spots I think that they found actually that was the case. As a runner, I was only really aware of the waterfall being the thing just because of volume of seeds played, but Thinking upon it, I do recall some other spots now that they were mentioned.
Yeah, there were two of the Armos spots. I want to say it was the Grave Armos, and then the one in the forest, the one more to the north rather than the one to the east. But I won't swear to that. Yeah.
Cappy going straight back, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. And Mocco, look at this level 7. He's digging it a little bit. It's not a bad 7. This is kind of small for a 7, which kind of worries me about what level 8 and or 9 is going to look like.
I was going to say, this level 7's bad news for 2 more dungeons after it.
Yep. Now, of course, with the possibility of not needing all 8 Triforces, we might never have to even see level 8. We will have to see level 9, though. That is the one dungeon that 100% required every seed still.
Yeah, I've seen too many 5 Triforce 9, so I'm kind of hoping we get to... not even 6, I'm hoping it's like 7. Just leave one dungeon a chance, figure out which one you don't want to dig, and make them do a little bit of work.
Yeah, and I feel like as a runner, the 5 Triforces is the scariest one, because yeah, you only have to do 5 Triforces, but that bow, that hard require... Well, of course, in this case, we've seen the bow. So we'll say the silver, so since the bow is already accounted for. Those silvers could be deep in one of those dungeons that you're never going to do, and silvers is the worst case because you might full clear 9 looking for them, and as I've said before, worst feeling in this flag set, and while I will wholly advocate looking in 9 first, but when the silvers aren't there, having to go back to a dungeon that you haven't even found yet to look for your silvers. Not the best feeling.
Yeah, Caffy may be trying to get this tea room Stalfos to play nice and go to the perimeter. We have eliminated one of the Goma issues in 7 in the meantime. We're going to have to take a bot from this guy, Caffy. Well, I guess you can wait that out.
Norway will help him.
But, like, to think about, like, the 9 gamble, 1 rupee short, I don't know. See, if we have the book, it's a very easy gamble. You take it, right? Because you get the potential for hints on top of information for Gan and Zelda. You have more than a few reasons now to dig. I think it's just dependent on what the enemy set is primarily for me. Because if I go into 9 and it's awful, and I could go into like level 7 where there's a lot of staircases, and suddenly it's like, hey, it's a bunch of ropes or Guerrilla, maybe just a lot of red Guerrilla rooms, or just stuff that's generally easier to combat down. I think I might normally not gamble in that case, but again, each seed's different, so you just have to figure out what it feels like and go from there.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said to trying to feel out the seed, and that book to understand old men is. I'm not in general a fan of hints in really any of my randomizers. But when you least, kind of mitigate it with the book being required to understand anything, at least it eliminates the, oh my god, I found hints, 10 minutes in, I gotta spend all my money on those hints right now. And the fact that they're all truthful, I will never say helpful, I always say truthful, because there's no guarantee they're actually going to help you out.
Yeah, the book, to understand Old Men, the other thing you have to realize is a lot of the time, by the time you get to the book, a lot of the hints that you're going to be able to find are going to be not so useful. So it's almost just, can you run into a decent hint in a dungeon? And a decent item in 7 doesn't exactly hurt either.
Yeah, that ladder in 7 could be pretty big. It wouldn't surprise me if Caffy gets to that sooner rather than later. Is going to go back into this level 3 that he has the Triforce out of.
Yeah, +2 ball on the bomb upgrade was not exactly what Mocco was hoping for there. It's
no.
a little bit shy of what ideally we would have gotten, and the ideal placement for the bombs still doesn't guarantee Blue Darknet runs into it.
Okay, Caffy taking a death to that Patra. It was an Ellipsis Patra, so should be able to take it on without too much trouble, but may choose to prioritize other rooms first. It's a free bomb pack on the floor. There's one more room up in the upper segment for Caffy. At this point, Mocco is just going to be looking for the Triforce, doesn't need anything else. Wouldn't mind the heart. Actually, honestly, with the heart and the stair, a lot of the better runners will just leave the heart and the stair, and won't even bother going down for it. Although it's early enough, and he knows about that bow. It would not surprise me at all if he decides to go ahead and pick it up if he sees it.
Yeah, even the most experienced runners are probably going to get up to 5 or 6 heart containers. After that, perhaps the ones that feel like their combat is stellar, or especially if you have the red ring, you tend to value sword beams a little bit higher, and thus you go a little bit lower on the heart toll.
Yeah, for a lot of runners, it's once you've seen, it's all about that white sword item. Have I seen it? What is it? Do I care about it? And Mocco knows he cares about the white sword item because it is the bow. Alright, there for Caffy. It's the heart. So the item is, I'm gonna guess under that Patra, because I think that's the only room he hasn't cleared yet.
Well, we'll find out which direction Caffy goes. That'll probably give us the answer.
And Triforce for Mocco out of 7. Alright, there might be some other rooms he hasn't cleared, because I believe that blue Dark Nut room was the stair to get back to the other side of the segment, and you would just up A if you're going to go do that. Go do the Patra right now. This is not much better, though. Good job getting the first 2 down. Very nicely done. Not the item. We'll see if it's in this next room. Gibdo's much easier. Just don't get hugged. Mocco gonna grab that power bracelet on the coast, which could be needed. Might not be needed. It's nicer with those overworld blocking items. It's always nice to get those earlier rather than later. And now I think we're down to the Patra.
Yep, gonna give it another shot.
But on the plus side, Caffy did get an extra key out of that. And I do like I took a bob, I'm just going to go ahead and up A and get my health back. I want to make sure, he wants to make sure he comes out of this room with as much health as he can, which is going to be just the 3. But that still allows him to take that 1 bop rather than, if he's down to 1 or 2 hearts, that Patra is just going to kill him.
This Patra is probably the lesser of the 2 evils, and there's no Bimo statues in this room, so just taking your time and you should have it. Well,
okay, there's still another room he hasn't cleared, because that's just the compass.
Which blue Dark Nut room is it?
Which one has he not cleared? Have we, we might not have cleared this one. Oh boy. No, you definitely haven't cleared this one. This is not a room you clear until the game says, haha, your item must be here or your Triforce.
Yep. And the good news here is you're right next to start, so if you can get like 3 or 4 of these down before you take enough BMOS hits to be at low health, then you can go ahead and just save this room, and it's not that big of a journey, and you get back to 3. Ooh,
that
barely.
Was close. Gotta admit that if that had been me, I would have timed that sword swing wrong, and I would have taken that hit. But unfortunately, just walks face first into a different one.
Yep. No more bombs left, but again, you could take it carefully and probably manage to pull that off.
Yeah, he's got that he's gonna have that room marked in his mind to come back to later. But he's gonna come back to it later because yeah, like you say, no bombs. That's a tough room. Oh, is that our first bomb shop? 36 is not what you're hoping for. Meanwhile, Mocco in level 2. And we have whiz robes. 2 keys, 2 key doors. This room's not going to help us out unless there's a segment. Well, I mean, not yet, anyway. Go room, kind of the weird dungeon room, because it'll drop in either vanilla quest, but does not drop in shapes for whatever reason. Caffy, going back to level 5, I believe we did see this earlier.
Yep, we've seen a good chunk of the larger dungeons so far.
And Heart in the Stair. I thought that was going to be the, I mean, we always joke about level 5 and it's, and finding the connecting stair first, but not this time. Unfortunately, without a bomb, Caffy unable to check to see if these virus go down to 4 HP, or to a bomb shot. Mocco doing a nice job with these whiz robes. Just 5 rupees for his trouble, though, so sadly. Yeah, and Mocco says, you know what, maybe I don't want to deal with whiz robes right now, and I can't say that I blame him.
Yeah, it's tough to leave a small dungeon behind, but if the enemy set's bad, it's just not worth worrying about until you need it.
So we'll go into level 4. So a couple of these dungeons out in the northeast. And here in this room that Mocco's in is an example of, I don't care what enemy you have in a Demos room, it's always a much worse situation. Gypto is usually not too bad, just gotta make sure you don't get hit, because they will do 2 hearts of damage. But when you get those Demos in there that you have to also avoid, not so great.
Yeah, unfortunately, only a minor payout for clearing that room, so it's, again... It's nice for the peace of mind, I guess, but it's definitely doesn't feel good when you skill down a room like that and just end up not getting a huge payday. More Patras, though.
Yeah, this is a much worse room for this Patra. We don't actually need to kill it, but we do need to get past it. When you fight a Patra, you want a nice open space with nothing shooting at you. We got the nothing shooting at you, but this is definitely not an open space, and you can easily get yourself cornered. There we go. Just get it down enough to go past it. There's really no reason to actually kill it. Caffy finds the transport in level 5, assuming that there's only one segment, which I make no assumption of that. Mocco, unfortunately, having got past the Patra, takes a death in the next room. I did see a blue dark nut in there, so not going to be an easy room no matter what.
Yeah, feels like a little bit of nervous energy early on this race. You know the other runner's really good. You're trying to keep the pace up while being careful, and it's not really easy to go fast and be careful. So one usually takes the priority, and unfortunately sometimes two wishes the other. Hey, bait block may be required, maybe not. Unlikely at this point, though.
Not likely. Caffy can ignore that Gliok, even though that is a potential drop room. Really no reason to necessarily kill it right now. And ladder block, potentially. But no bait block. Mocco back in this Patra room.
And given where the Triforce is, I guess it's probably just best to go ahead and try and clear this, especially if it gets stuck in that corner. Oh, it got out. I was going to say, if it gets stuck in that corner, it likes not being over the block, the main one. Mm-hmm. It'll kind of cut in like little corners of the blocks, usually.
Yeah, I'm guessing, now that you point out the Triforce there, Mocco's, when he went past, he's maybe hoping that there would be a way around killing it, and maybe, if he could bomb here to the right, that would happen, but not looking... I mean, we've already killed it, so it almost doesn't matter. He's going to want to push this block to see if he can find an item, though. And it's the heart.
Yep. Obviously going to take that. That's probably one of the rare times where you're happy enough to see the heart, because now you know the bow is obtainable for certain.
Nice job on the Gliok from Caffy. Unfortunately, nothing there.
Yep, they're not going to be getting a Triforce out of this 5 in this trip either, as it appeared to be ladder blocked. Flute on the ground, burned appropriately, and off we go to find the Triforce.
And a
Magic
boomerang. Yeah, not what Caffy was hoping to find here.
This early without repeatable ranged items, maybe, but I think the overall enemy set is the unfortunate situation where you wouldn't pick it up.
Yeah, I'm more of a, like, I probably would have picked that one up because it's just on the floor and it's just like 2 steps. I tend to pick them up if they're, other than early game when they can be super useful. I tend to pick them up if they're on the floor and not if they're in the stair.
Alright, Caffy heading down to where the bow is, gonna get it. Didn't know it was there until just now. Meanwhile, Mocco back up at the arrow shop, picking up the wood arrows, which will help once he makes it to the bow location that he does know is there.
Now, the real question I have right now is, when does Caffy go into level 7, and how required is that ladder?
Well,
and by how required, I mean, is it required?
We know that if the Triforce requirement is 8, it is hard required. Anything below that, unknown.
Yep. Now, if it were 8, that would give him more incentive to go into that level 7 to get the ladder in the first place. Because... Oh, then, in fact, I didn't even I was thinking level 7 was closer to start. That was a different dungeon that we were looking at. Caffy finds level 7, and he's going to see this map, and he's going to say, oh my god, this is a small 7, I'm going to dig it. And here we are.
Yeah, the enemy set in here is very favorable as well. I mean, yeah, there's a couple bosses in here you're not thrilled with, but overall, there's just enough block setup of this dungeon, meaning like it's not a stringy kind of crossword puzzle 7. It's a very blocky 7, and very small in room quantity, as was kind of noted earlier. It's just worth digging.
And, it's a shame he didn't have the arrows. I could have taken down that Goma, but we also know that he doesn't need to take down that Goma. That ladder, I believe, was just sitting out in the open, and Mocco was able to grab the Triforce. He didn't have the bow yet, so Caffy's going to be able to do everything he needs to do in here.
Yep, just got to get over and down a little bit, and we'll have that ladder, I think.
Not enough money for the bomb upgrade, but it's only +2, so not that big a deal. It doesn't feel as bad when you're like 60 rupees away from it as, the 1 rupee for Mocco, although he was able to go back and get it. There's the ladder for Caffy.
Yep, now gotta go a couple more rooms to realize that he just has to go back to start to collect the other portion of his requirements in this dungeon.
Oh, we take free bombs. Oh, we don't take free bombs.
Yeah, I don't know. It's 1 bomb, but maybe he's thinking about bombing enemies here to clear this faster.
Oh, that's a good point. He might go back and get it afterwards.
Just leave it there in case you need it, probably.
Yep. I was a little surprised that he killed the enemies and then did not grab the bomb pack, whereas he could just left the enemies alone. Ooh, any key in 2. Haven't had too many key issues yet, so it's not as impactful as it has been in other races. But at 4 keys, you still rather... I guess Caffy has 4. I didn't see how many Mocco had. You'd still rather have it than not, especially this early.
No, it's definitely good news, bad news. Good news is key doors won't be your problem anymore. Bad news is key doors won't be your problem anymore in specific dungeons. Meaning you could route around something if you had to, the key door opening for free makes it to where you're basically trying to full clear an area, whereas you might otherwise get forced into an item or forced away from it. So the odds are usually favorable to picking it up, and thus you'll see almost everyone pick it up, unless, 15, 16 keys or something.
Yeah, exactly. And 5 keys for Caffy now.
Yeah, and you'd still pick it up on the floor. I think it would just change picking it up in a staircase.
Has not found that compass, though.
Yeah, but does have rooms near start that he knows he can try and access, so might bomb early now.
And I didn't see Mocco must have just seen that wood sword. Didn't quite see any reaction though, because I was looking at the wrong screen. But, unfortunately, loses all his money. But we're not done here because we do have with the mixed overworld. We do have these ladder spots, and he's gonna check those. Those are among the. Oh, there it is. There's the wood sword. Yeah, a lot of times if you're planning on doing these spots here, you'll do the white sword cave first, and then come down and do the waterfall cave. And of course, since these are among the overworld spots that are not guaranteed to open, it's about 2/3. We talk about it being 50-50. It's about 1/3 they'll open. It's not exactly 1/3, but it comes out to like 34% or something like that. So I like to just say 1/3. A chance that those will open.
Yep, still wondering how many tries we're gonna need. That's one of the few dungeons we haven't found.
Yep. Yeah, this flag set really rewards trying to get to that level 9. You'll often see, especially if either runner gets to 5 Triforces, that's when you just beeline to level 9. By beeline, I mean if you haven't seen it before, you want to find it. In Caffy's last race, he didn't even find level 9 until he already had 7 Triforces. So we never actually found out what the actual entry requirement was. It was like a nice chain reaction of, I don't remember the full chain reaction, but the final piece of the chain was a power bracelet to open up level 9.
Yep, here comes the potion grab on 7 heart containers.
Yep, that's about right.
And yeah, if you have knowledge of the bow and the ladder and a decent chunk of dungeons, then it is basically time to go find 9. If you get to 5 Triforces, if you don't have the bow, maybe it's not as mandatory to know how many you need, but it would be nice still.
This will be the bow for Mocco. Really cheap meat, but we know that that's actually not going to be required.
Yep. On top of that, one of the favorite enemies to use it against when you're not feeding it to the bait block is not necessarily going to be found in places where you need to use it. They have been relocated.
Happy hoping to get a bomb drop from that blue Octorok. Doesn't get one. And Caffy's gonna enter this level too, and I thought it was under this power bracelet spot. Wasn't sure, so if we have if we have to get all 8 Triforces, ladder required because we need to get that power bracelet. Fortunately, both our runners have it, so slight advantage. I guess Caffy never got the try out of 7, so slight advantage to Mocco for already having that try out of 7.
Yep. As our tracker Diesel Pilot has made note of, Chestjerk no longer has a horse in this race. Both have a potion in hand at this point.
I don't know, to be fair, Chestjerk has repeatedly told me not to do things the way he does things, so...
Who's going to force the key burn early. I think that's what forced Mocco down to, I want to say it was 2 keys when he found the Ina key.
Hmm.
Might have been 3. I don't think it's 4 anymore.
Mocco's turn to dig out this level 3. And very likely,
Y forced.
nice Y force for Caffy. I imagine you don't, you go, like, level 2 you go back into. Or not?
I mean, it's a tough call. I almost would kind of go it because you're trying to still find 9.
Yep, that's fair.
It would be a lot easier if you had the recorder to make that call, though.
And it is a Wizrobe dungeon, so it is kind of a nasty place to be. We know that it's an any key in there, which is, again, a nice to have, but never hard required. There's some seeds that it feels like it's hard required. But so far, this seed is not being super stingy on the keys. Because we haven't seen level 1 yet. Level 1 can do things. In the meantime, Caffy did buy his arrows, so is going to be able to use them in this level 4. And Mocco... Oh yeah, we did get the recorder out of here. So that'll make Caffy feel better about leaving 2 in case he decides he wants to go back there. Nice candle boost around the Patra. There's the heart for Mocco.
Yep, I expect both runners to still consider the heart containers until a defensive upgrade has been found.
Makes sense.
Or until you get Magical Sword. I think that's the other breaker.
Yeah, because once you have mags and you're not picking up, you're just picking up hearts, they don't do as much for you. Caffy quietly up to 9 already. Mocco not that far behind with 7 though. Was that the recorder?
Yep.
Okay.
No compass kit yet, though. Yeah, that room.
And Cappy double checking that it's not a segmented 4. I imagine Mocco's also going to full clear this 3, and you know he's got a few more hearts right now than Caffy did at the time. But the room that we have to clear to get what we're pretty certain, the room that we're pretty certain you have to clear to get the item, unless you have like Red Ring and Mags, is going to be a tough do no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree in most cases, but being so close to start, that's just one where you have to be okay with resetting the room and
Yep.
taking your time. That's why when a lot of people ask me what they should do when they're trying to improve, I say just slow down a little bit. So sometimes slowing down will get you the answer a lot faster than trying to sprint to the finish. Doesn't make that much sense in theory, like just thinking, you know, why would I go slower in a race? But you know, sometimes you're trying to go too fast and you make sloppy errors with combat or routing by mismarking or what have you. So
yeah, I think that's really good advice.
The other advice is don't worry about what your runner could or could not have done because you can't control that.
Also a good call. Yeah, unfortunately what Caffy has to do is kill that Patra in that diagonal block room. You gotta see, yeah, because it's that second little nub underneath the dash is where the Triforce is. I don't remember if we
Yeah.
ever even saw the map on Mocco's side, so it wasn't quite as clear. But there wasn't a way around it. There's the compass. And now Caffy gets the bad news. And Mocco, I'm not sure if there's any other rooms that, if he's got any rooms left he hasn't cleared other than the blue darknet room. But if he has, if there are some, he's probably going to get that bad news relatively soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it could be Expandopatra instead of this. So it's a good thing that it's just this for Caffy. For Mocco, it's just how much damage can we do with bombs, probably first, and then when do we want to save the room, because that will determine whether or not we stick it out. Because if we die, then you gotta start from scratch again in this room. Right. That's no fun.
And that's why, that's why Caffy left when he did, is he took the death without having saved the room at all, so didn't want to start from scratch again, and had no bombs to do it.
Yeah, I would be tempted to save the room now at 1 heart, half heart, save it. Oh.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he was trying to get to that door and just didn't quite make it. And that sometimes happens too. Like you decide, okay, you know what, I'm down, I'm beeping now, I'm gonna leave the room, and you just don't quite make it to the door.
Back into now, which is slightly interesting perhaps, but silvers are still out there.
I mean, he's not going to be super unhappy with what he finds, but with 5 keys, you're going to be less excited about it than you would be if you had no keys. And we did see a non-required key, a key heart, maybe a key heart or key bombs. I didn't quite see, but it was keys, and having that any key is pretty valuable when you run into those that are hard required. I am glad that Fred took away the 5 key muckers. like 2, yeah, I might give up 2, but 5.
Yep, I believe that was one of the rare suggestions that I made that managed to find its way in, because I made the case that you could almost just remove 4 and make it 2 or 3. In most cases, 2 or 3 is about the extent of which you would pay.
Yep, unless you have some... I did call a race last year where the runners had so many keys that they both, I think, gave up 4. They were double digits at the time, and they ended up with like 20 something each, so it was pretty insane, but those seeds are rare. And Caffy wondering, where do I go in this level 2? This room's not going to drop anything, but we are segmented. And Mocco into level 5.
Still wondering what that item in 3 will end up being.
Yeah. And who will go back there first?
I mean, if it's silvers, I'm going to give both of them a little bit of a hard time for not taking a little bit slower in that room, I think.
I think that's fair. Caffy up to 6 keys now.
Then it's about time to find it.
That's exactly right. Is he not done?
Well, I think the northern part of this bottom portion.
Yeah, there might be a bomb hole in there. Meantime, yeah, I forget what knocked. It may have been a ladder block. I forget what knocked Caffy out of this level 5. He was in here earlier. Oh, no, it's just here. Yeah, in the no reason to bomb hole. Thanks, game.
Yeah, that is true. Five had the magical boomerang and a ladder block
Right, and the ladder
Triforce.
block Triforce. That's yeah, I remember now. So that's a dungeon that Caffey could pick. If he needs one more Triforce to get into 9, likely goes to that. Right now is hoping to find something like level 1. Honestly, has decided I don't really want to deal with those Lionel screens. Unfortunately, just has the 1 bomb right now, so would have to buy some bombs, get a lucky bomb on a global counter, or work on getting a force. And he's also gonna also have these recorder spots to check. One thing you'll notice, he's not the only one that'll do this, but I feel like I see him do it more than most runners. Is every time he saves, he will always reset to try and get that first global. Even if it's like sometimes you're just doing it because I need a bomb right now, and there's something near my start screen, and I'm gonna try and get that global. But he just routinely will reset after a save.
Yeah, for me, it's just dependent on whether or not I know what count I'm on. If I already know what I'm on, I'm not as worried about resetting. But if I don't, then yeah, it's definitely something you should do. So definitely something.
All right,
to be
here we go. Caffey's got 5. Well, entered with 5 now. 4 bombs. Has a potion, and I think he's gonna clear this room come heck or high water.
Again, just gotta take it a little bit slower. Save the room if you have to. I'm going to revise my guess maybe to 1. Silvers, haha! It was right the first time.
Wow. Okay, so the question now is, when does Mocco go back for that? And if I'm Caffey, I'm looking for 9. I'm also looking for 1, hoping for a nice, easy dungeon to clear. But yeah, I'm looking for, because he can get the try out of 5 anytime he wants. He doesn't have that much more 7 to dig. We're gonna go into 8 though.
Yeah. So you're. This is only as kind of impactful or important as the 9 requirement, I would say. And you might question that because the Triforce 2 is already had, but by having to dig all the dungeons, you're likely to run into a lot of the items. So I feel like the odds to gamble on 9 at the later stages would be less than a single known room in that dungeon at level 3. I would definitely be clearing that 3 first.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very much an advocate of if you have it, if you know the room the item is in, or if you have it narrowed down to like 2 or 3 rooms, go to that dungeon first before digging out a Shapes 9. If you've seen 1 room in level 8 and your choices are, if your choices are 2 items in 8 versus 2 items in 9, then I'm going to 9.
Well, with that shape of 8, I think my choice would also be 9.
Yeah, that shape of 8 was it was actually funny how quickly he up 8 out of that level 8 after seeing just how nasty it looked.
Yeah, 8 bombs now though, so Death Mountain Dig is something that can be done a little bit easier.
Yep, and both these runners are well adept at doing whatever they need to force bombs. So, we have level 6 too.
This is perhaps a small surprise. Hey, now don't do that. I saw that candle burn. I'm a little surprised actually by the 6. I know we need another Triforce or 2, and hey, the compass now makes it
work out
absolutely
really well.
worth. Yeah, it went from a potentially interesting decision to not so much.
Yeah, I wonder if Caffey is just gonna go ahead and you at 2 hearts I use the potion. At 3 hearts I would try and just, not take any, because you can fire the arrows pretty quickly and not take any damage. But if they get too close to you, then yeah, you could be in trouble. I imagine it wouldn't actually surprise me if Caffy goes and grabs a try out of 5. So he has 5 Triforces just in case he runs into level 9 and just go in. I haven't even seen the dead ones yet. There's so much overworld left at this point. Letter from Mocco.
Yep, already have to cycle through the potion, so there's no point not to pick that up.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of always picking up the letter, even if your plan is to pick up a potion out of to take any. The letter just the ability to buy more potions to me is invaluable, and you can make up for not having a ring. You can make up a lot with potion usage. And I don't think, unless somebody happens upon the red ring by accident, I think that's the only way we're seeing any kind of ring in this seed. Another hint shop that we can't do anything with. Actually, we might have seen that one already. But we have seen both. I forget what the other one was, because I just remember it was a little cheaper than that one is. Unfortunately for Caffy, losing all his money and thus all his arrows. Nice force from Mocco there.
Hey, 104
again. Refill. Yeah, what do you? I heard you call that screen the Caffy just screen scrolled out of. Something was the Deadwood's cheat screen or something like that.
Yep.
I like that.
Basically, you're cheating the maze game entirely. You don't have to play it anymore. When there's blue wizards on that screen, that's extra fun.
And both runners essentially trying to raid. Like Mocco wants to find 9. If it actually be honestly be beneficial if either he doesn't find 9 or if he gets the 6, 7, 8 units. Because I bet if he finds 9, he's going in.
Starting to run out of overworld locations that aren't blocked, so very high likelihood that 1 or 9 or both are blocked.
Yeah, at this point, it's just the raft left in terms of blocking items, so a raft block level 9 would certainly be spicy. Oh, wait, never mind. Gakko finds it.
Can we get in immediately? No, we gotta...
Okay, well, everything gets thrown out the window. We gotta go get some Triforces.
We got plenty of time.
We went from this possibly being done, maybe the next 10 minutes. Caffy is a very accessible Triforce, so he knows exactly where it is. This is still anybody's game. The big key is when does Mocco get the silvers out of 3?
Jay Coper makes a pretty good point, and it's what I said earlier. If it's all 8, you're gonna at least find a handful of items. I would guarantee Mocco at least makes a very, very solid attempt to get both items out of 1, for example.
Yes.
The problem also, though, is that Caffy is Triforcing going all of that pretty much until the raft says no.
And at this point, we're only missing level 1. So unless level 1 now is the only thing left that can be raft block and matter. Caffy takes the heart. I mentioned that because he's down to a blue potion, but I have actually seen him very purposely grab. I've seen him accidentally grab a second red potion. But I've also seen him very purposely say, you know what, I'm just going to grab the red potion here, even though even though I still have a blue. And, you know, if the book shows up, hints could come into play, as Mocco finds a hint shop. But if it is the raft, we have items in 6 and items in 8.
Caffy wiping out the Triforce in 5 to get the bare minimum for 9, since not seen it.
Yeah, because you don't want to get there and find with 4 Triforces and find out you could have just entered. And they're
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, and they are tied up in Triforces now. Mocco having not done level 6. That actually, you know, the 6 and the 8 situation is probably the worst for Mocco, especially with, I mean, level 8. It's entirely possible the Triforce is deep enough that you're just going to run into the items anyway. So 8 might not be impactful, but level 6 is Triforce being that easy, and unless the raft decides to come into play. Which I think we're down to East Death Mountain for level 1. Caffy's never going back into that level 6.
I don't like the bombs Caffy put there.
And I feel like Mocco's checked this before. Yeah, I didn't quite see it very well, so hopefully it's fine.
Like I think it's fine, but like I don't really like the size that he put those on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always remember the number 45. 4 on the one to the west, 5 on the one to the east. All right, we're down to just these East Death Mountain, and interesting enough, Caffy might get that information if it is a raft block level 1. Caffy's gonna have that information right about the time that he sees level 9.
This just feels like a dig of 8 incoming.
I think we just have these next 2 spots left, and this first one is only in that category of 1/3 to open, and it doesn't.
Yeah, Mocco's been on this side of Death Mountain, so we kind of knew what was in store.
Yeah, I think we're raft blocked out of level 1. I think we're gonna need a raft. I'm not 100% sure. I guess we still have the arrow over here. Ooh. It's not where you want to take a death if you're Mocco.
We have seen the Mag second quest arrow.
Alrighty then. Then I think we're raft blocked.
And what's down to pretty much 6 and 8, I would guess. Right? Yeah. So fun times ahead, either one.
So it's a little unfortunate for Caffy. Now he'll definitely go to 8 first because he's already got the try out of 6. And then, you know, once he gets the try out of 8, then decisions must be made. Chad asking about a blue ring. I will be shocked if... Well, Mocco's got the money for it, but I would be surprised if he bought one too. I would be shocked if Caffy bought a blue ring.
Yeah, the silvers are such a nice weapon to have.
Yeah.
It's hard to say the blue ring is something I would want to, you know, put myself in that danger room. If you know you have a large secret and you have a couple of spots left on the overworld and you want to gamble that's not raft blocked large secret, then sure, that would definitely make it worthy. But yeah, I think we're out of large secrets at this point, so that's not really a good investment anymore. Oof.
Oh, that's really unfortunate for Caffy. He didn't realize that the Gorilla had rolled up, and so when he placed the bomb for the force, they did not go down. And so now he's out of bombs.
Yeah. And there's a screen to the right. Well, he's going to go the wrong way for it, but the screen to the right, I think, was Red Gorilla. Blue Lionels are on this side, though, so all is still probably well. Well, no, we're on a 5 count. If we kill it all, we have to find another enemy.
Now, I've heard different answers to this. Do the Armos count?
I don't trust the Armos to count, so I don't use them at all. But someone else could say something. Coper says no. I tend to agree. I don't trust him.
Okay, we're just gonna buy bombs. It's fine. We're gonna buy 2 packs. They'd count towards consecutive, but not towards global. Okay. That actually, I wouldn't have expected that answer. I would have thought one or the other, but not. I would have thought both or neither, but not one and not one or the other.
Yeah, that's a bit wild that they do one but not the other. But, yeah, now that you mention it, there are a couple of things that I can recall that have that effect.
Alright, Mocco in level 8. I believe he knows at this point that he does need the raft. So he's going to be digging for that as well as the silvers. We know the silvers aren't here. Caffy still needs to dig out this West Death Mountain to get the bad news. And I imagine once he finds out he needs all the Triforces, he still needs to clean up 7, but I imagine 8 will be his first dig. We might see both our runners in 8 at the same time. Oh my god.
Right-hand staircase into a shoot room.
That's cute. That's cute, game.
So you have to walk... It's going to be great if you have to walk the south side of that little gap to find the raft in here. It's just... there are going to be legitimate questions asked of somebody, and she's probably going to be happy to hear it.
I don't mind the occasional required raft, though.
Just how deep in this 8 or how deep in 6 will be. And will Caffy be thrilled with the answer he's about to get?
He's not going to be thrilled at all, because he wants to be done. And unfortunately, he missed another bomb force, and this is level 9 right here, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to have to get a bomb, and he knows that that's, you know, the likelihood of that being something he needs is really, really high. But fortunately, he did find a bomb shop, and he's going to just be able to buy bombs. I'll chalk it up to nerves, you know, again. Like, I've seen Caffy do those forces hundreds of times. I don't expect him to have trouble with it. Alright, bad news. You need all 8 units. You need the raft.
Yep, should have both answers. Well, it doesn't have the screen cleared, so it might have a few spots randomly. We have the answer, I think. As I say that, I've already commentated on one race where I've missed a very, very wide open level 6 that I thought was blocked, so...
I mean,
you never know.
Yeah. Yep. And no surprise, Caffy right into this level 8. He'll be looking for that raft. Has already taken that stair. He definitely didn't see that shoot room that's behind it. Because he got the map and just immediately noped out, because ugly map. Potentially not needed.
Yeah. Now, this is still pretty tough to call. I'd give the edge maybe still to Caffy, but only just. I mean, the lead in the dungeon clearing, well, it depends on how much closer Caffy gets to that 0 HP as well, I guess.
And of course, the big difference, of course, is if it is in this level 8, Caffy will get the raft and get the Triforce and get out, whereas Mocco might still clear for silvers. And I agree with Jay Coper in chat that a raft in 6 would be better for him. And a raft in 8 would be better for Caffy. by proxy.
I still think with the way this is going, this is probably just going to be a 9 battle. Unless 9's silly free. That fairy is amazing. However, again, Caffy is at 0 in a very important column.
Yeah,
this room is...
If those might help out.
It could help, but usually when you need them, they don't show up. You got 1 pack at least.
No, I guess unfortunately, we have to bomb that room from the other side, and Caffy just says, "You know what? I'll just mentally mark that room." He doesn't. I know he doesn't track his 1 through 8. He does track his 9s, so hopefully he remembers that room becomes important.
Well, we are looking very heavily towards this, like, random right side of this 8 as the answer. Oh, I'm not going to confirm the raft requirement, chat, but I'm going to say it's extremely likely at this point.
The fact that both runners are... I mean, to be fair, we do need the Triforce, but both runners in this 8 where the raft would most likely be at this point. 2 items versus the 1 and 6.
Yeah, assuming neither runner has seen the Triforce, I'm assuming not. You gotta be really careful about where you're standing in some of these rooms. I've seen the runners be right center on a few of them now. Every time I cringe a little bit.
Yep. I know Caffy knows where everything drops in these rooms. Mocco is the type of player that it wouldn't surprise me if he knows those things, and we do find the raft, which is that'll be go mode for Caffy once he finds that.
That's go mode. Caffy has to get there, which at 6 hearts is looking good, but not guaranteed. So
he has gotten a few. He's gotten a few fortuitous bomb drops and bomb floor drops.
Oh, people and they're
rushing the Dodongos. Yeah, there you go again with the as you say the rushing things. There's a heart from Mocco. He says no.
It's like my biggest pet peeve right now in Z1R is when people do that. I get it if you have to make that miracle bomb happen, but when you have multiple bombs, just feed and smoke. To be fair, Caffy might have tried to do that and just missed on one of the occasions.
Yeah, because even that method is not foolproof, and there's Mocco has gotten the Triforce out of 8. And was that level 1? I heard dungeon music, so there's the raft for Caffy. He knows all he needs now is the Triforce out of this dungeon. And
yeah, in a different universe, it would have been really bad if a runner had found this 8 and decided just to dig it and given up on the Triforce once they got the raft. There are worlds where that could have happened, as that's the very quick Triforce in 1, but that's actually terrible news.
Oh, did Mocco get that book?
I don't know if he dodged it or not.
Huh. I guess next time we see an old man, we'll find out.
Yes.
Frankly, it's the wrong person to get it. Like Caffy is probably thrilled to have it. And he'll go into level 9, and the old man might direct him right to Ganon and Zelda. Whereas Mocco would hit Mocco having it could go into level 9, and every once in a while, the game 2 rooms in, you see that old man telling you the silvers are elsewhere, and you can just immediately leave without digging the dungeon.
Yep. The decisive advantage, Caffy, now. The insta-Triforce in 1, so no digging required, just go. Yep. Red Ring could slightly help, but, I still think the time is more of the essence.
Yeah, there are matchups where... Okay, chat saying Mocco has the book, so that's good for him. There are matchups where I think the difference between having the red ring and not having the red ring is more impactful. both these runners will be fine without a ring. So, if I'm Mocco, it'd be like, yeah, I'm happy to have it, but this is not the progression I'm looking for.
In a way, though, the red ring might just push him to go back and deal with that combat room and knock it out.
Yes, that is a really good point.
So you're hoping he probably finds it soon.
Caffy taking a look at his map, looking to see what rooms he hasn't cleared, so he can find this Triforce. He never did get that compass. I'm actually not even sure where this compass is.
Pretty sure it's over on the left side. I just don't think we got there.
And Caffy not caring to clear the very slow rupee boss, and in this case it is very slow. I mean, that'd be a great hint. if we'd come in here with the book, what, 30, 40 minutes ago.
Well, the first item in one's dud. It's just the boomerang and the staircase.
And you see Caffy doing a lot of menuing, trying to figure out what rooms he needs to clear here. Still can't afford the bomb upgrade, but I think he's okay with that. Has plenty of silvers to sling.
The answer to the question, chat, there's one room in 3 that is annoying. Red candle's the other item in 1, so that's not great news.
So that red ring that would help him out, that combat in level 3 would be either in 6 or Caffy. No.
Caffy, I mean, it seems kind of difficult to do, but yeah, just bomb. It's actually going to help him in the end.
Yep. Mocco in level 6, and is not going to be happy to see the Triforce as early as he's going to see it, because ideally what you want in this situation, if you're Mocco, is a really deep Triforce with the item on the way, whether it be silvers or not.
Yeah. Anyways, we have the helping hand of 9, so we're going to take it.
Yeah, and I guess this is the closest dungeon to level 9. There's nothing else in Death Mountain.
Yeah, the Triforce in 6 is the other direction, so Mocco's going to be going up a little bit too far, I think, to get the compass. I think it's a little bit further down in this room. Again, thinking only really the red ring would force the immediate desire to go to 3, but I still think that's what's going to happen anyways.
Yeah, he's got a potion, he's got 10 bombs. He might dig out the 6 first. Especially if we get a map and it's not too bad. Meanwhile, Caffy into level 9. And given what we saw of 7 and 8, this could be a fairly big 9. And, the book doesn't give us maps here, so we have to find a map if we're actually going to be able to see what it looks like.
There is no ring in anybody's inventory, to answer that question, chat. It's just more or less we're trying to theorize ways where it would just absolutely push Mocco to go back and clear the room he doesn't want to clear. And this is, I mean, I'm not going to call this GG yet at all.
No, absolutely not. A lot depends on whether Mocco goes and gets the, and unfortunately, heart container in the stair here for Mocco means the item is on the floor. Yeah, a lot depends on does Mocco go back and clear out that room in level 3. If he goes to 9 first, then Caffy already with a lead into 9 in terms of just mapping it. Plus the fact that Mocco won't actually be able to kill Ganon, will need to be forced out by the hint or by finding the 2 items. That's a very different story than if he goes back and gets the item in 3.
Yeah, here's the compass for Mocco. Gonna probably, I would argue you clear this, you take the try, and you go to 3, and you make it work.
Yeah, I mean, that is the. I mean, I would agree. The only caveat is we know that's the answer, and so it's a lot easier, I think, for us to sit here and say, yeah, that's the thing he should do, as opposed to anything else.
Well,
and let's see, where is he recording to? He's not going back into 6, so that's good news.
This is Lost Hills. This is not where he's attempting to go.
I believe that's 4. Oh, you're going to 5. Yeah, he's going to
5
9.
is not that close to 9.
It's
well,
I
mean, it's a book.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
He's going down. Maybe.
But he has the try for 3, so why wouldn't? Oh, he's going for a max check, and he gets it. Oh, that's very nice. Yeah. Okay. So now you're definitely going to 3, right? Right?
Nope. Nope.
Oh well.
This is if he didn't have the book, I would say that this would be the absolute wrong play always. But with the book, it's in theory reasonable enough.
We haven't seen a hint yet, but he might take a different path and find one.
So here's why I would still say that it's not the play I would make. Is you have only one room in level 3.
You know exactly where your item is.
Even if I didn't know what that item was, I would be hard pressed to skip that. Yeah,
there's no way. I mean, if silvers were in 6 and Caffy had dug them out deep in there, it'd be a lot more trouble. I'm complete agreement with you. If you know exactly where an item is in a dungeon, I would go get that item. Oh, we found Ganon. I did not hear that roar. And we have 2 doors. Oh no, she's in the southeast, so this is not gonna. Neither one of these is gonna be Zelda.
Yep. Ooh, watch out! Oh man, that was a driver spot. If it was going left.
Please use the potion, and he does.
He was absolutely dead if Ganon went left instead of right.
Oh yeah. Oh, he doesn't have another potion.
This strategy is scaring me to death.
Okay, managed to get him. Poof.
Yeah, but don't really have to check up too much. I mean, you might want to look for a staircase. This room's going to be hard to get through. Well, to go directly south, I guess if you're going to backtrack a little bit, it's fine.
Yeah, we did get the southeast hint, which there are 2 more hints available for Mocco to see. And there it is.
Hey, Payday. Go to 3 time. Will it be enough time, though?
Caffy would still love to see a map, so he's clearing some of these easier rooms. And he does go right to 3, which is the right call.
Yep, this is not where Caffy wanted to go.
That's nice.
Yeah, didn't want to go there, but got a Payday anyways. And the magical sword is going to make this really a lot more trivial than it once was.
Yeah, and there they are.
So that's why it's not over, because we don't have free access to Zelda yet. You can still bomb left here, yep. There's an opening. Ooh, that's a room.
Oof.
It's not over.
It is not over. I mean, it's still going to be, very legit come from behind if Mocco were to pull this off. But, it's one of the things that I love about this randomizer over most others that I've played is that, we talk about go mode, but like the true go mode where you're not looking for anything else doesn't happen until you find Zelda. And you know,
this setup right here, though, is pushing it
yeah, this is
closer.
looking pretty good for him to find her soon. Oh, I thought that was gonna open. I really thought that was gonna open.
Yeah, we had the access from the room above. And
oh yeah.
This one though looks better. Oh, hey, that would have been funny.
Oh, that'd be this could be a recorder block Zelda. That's fun.
Someone somewhere is very unhappy given what happened yesterday.
oh gosh. Nice map.
Yeah, well, that's almost definitive GG now, because there's only like 2 rooms left.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta go up now. It's gotta bomb up in one of these 2 rooms.
There it is.
Alrighty. 1:19:23 is the official time. And that was a very, very interesting game to watch, pretty much all the way up to the end.
I mean, I like I said, when I saw this matchup, I thought this was one of the best matchups on the schedule, and I was super excited about it, and it lived up. And we do have Caffy joining us. GG's.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so those level 3.
Man, I got worked in the beginning of this seed, man. I got so worked. Digging that entire 3, couldn't kill the dark nuts. And then going back into 2 for an any key, which was nice, but not exactly what I wanted.
Yep.
And it took a while to find 9. Turns out I needed all the tries.
Yep.
Great.
Not just all the tries, but... Yeah, you both took deaths first time into level 3 after pinpointing it down to just that one room.
I think that Dig Dogger was very likely hard required to do that. That'd have been something else if we made it all the way in here without that recorder.
Yep.
It's either that or kill that Triforce Blue Wizard room that I died in. And come into her from the right or from the left.
I had not paid attention to her room, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's hard when you don't see the map.
Yeah, there was a shutter door down into that room, or out of that room, and it was directly left of her. So she could have... I didn't pay attention whether she had a door on her left or not, but that was quite a path.
Yeah. So let's talk about the early game first. Your gamble did not pay off with a money-making game. You lost it all. Mocco got that immediate gamble win up into Death Armos without perishing and found that immediate candle. And we thought it was just going to roll Mocco's way until he also died a time or 2 and 3 and just noped it until the Silver's Light Elsewhere hit 9. Turned around.
Oh my gosh, I was getting crushed then.
I mean, yeah, he did have a bit of a lead on you, but yeah, that was a big deal. Once you got those silvers, then that's when things got interesting, and that's when I mean you brought it back, because it wasn't just the silvers. Like, he did the extra rooms in 8, which wasn't that much. Like, 8 was the try was pretty deep in there. Did a little bit of extra digging in 6. Obviously, 1. You're gonna dig 1, so he did that for, what was it, a red candle and a wood boomerang. So all those little things do add up after a while. And of course, going to 9, and 9 was a bit of a trek because not only is it in Death Mountain, the closest thing to it was level 5 at vanilla level 1 at level 1, which was where your level 5 was. Yeah.
So I guess it makes a lot of sense, considering if he got that early candle and then started doing a bunch of stuff. The early deaths really stifled my early game.
Gonna be brutally honest, I think both of you were trying to go a little too fast to start, and both of you took quite a few deaths you'd like to have back, I think.
Oh yeah, there's no question. So I feel very fortunate that I found those silvers out of 3, because otherwise I'm getting crushed in this race, no question.
It's just we kept saying who's going to go back, and I was like, what if the silvers are there? I'm really going to have to give it to both these runners for just not like saving the room and going back in or something. Then try to change my guess to Wanda as we found out it was indeed silver. So that was just wild.
Yep, and by the time Mocco did go back, he did have a magic sword. We're not sure he picked it up at 12, so we don't know if you could have had it or not. So it did make it a little bit easier for him. Actually, it was kind of funny because he picked up the magic sword, and I'm like, "Oh, well, now you go clear, right?" And he went the other way.
Yeah, I think the 2 points where the lead was gained in this one for you, though, is just having to dig more stuff. And honestly, as silly as it sounds, the Wallmaster at 7 probably saves you an additional minute or two, and then 9, you ordered Ganon fairly heavily.
Yeah, that Wallmaster. I was cursing at that moment, though it brought me to the Triforce. I'm like, oh, okay, this is fine. It still was annoying because I was searching extra rooms for the Triforce. I was willing to leave without it, and I eventually did the first dip because I didn't know if I needed it or not.
Yep.
And then that late 9 find, well, I could have had this a long time ago. Feels bad.
I mean, I'm sure you were hoping to walk into 9 and just open up.
Yeah, that would have been nice. But I probably would have lost in that instance, so... yeah. Yeah. Not great play by me, but I'm happy to get the win. Something else I wanted to point out, but I can't remember what it was. I thought I was good with the ladder at a 7. Like maybe he doesn't get this for quite a while, and I wanted to push the ladder and the power bracelet because the power bracelet was blocked by the ladder, and then eventually, well, not the recorder. The recorder was
I guess the power bracelet ended up being required because of level 2, but yeah.
Yeah.
He got the ladder first.
No, well then it wasn't good.
And Mako's going to get this map before finding Ganon, which is really interesting. How about this level 9 map? I mean, we knew it was going to be kind of big given what we saw of level 7 and level 8.
He found both items before Ganon, and still hasn't found Ganon?
He's found the map. I imagine he'll find Zelda shortly.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, he's not gonna... I'm not sure if he saw the Zelda. Yeah, he did.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Yes, so he's gonna find
you're gonna kill
that
this
answer.
one.
Bombing up doesn't work there. It would have to be on the other side where that wizard room is.
But I imagine he has this... Yeah, and very smart, does push the block to make sure. Because that block can push. Yeah, it just goes to show, I often say this, and Caffy, you and I have discussed this before. Things like Red Ring, Magic Sword, like... I want those things much more because of Wizrobes in level 9 than Ganon,
So Red Ring's in 6?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Red Ring, Wand, and Heart Container, outstanding.
Oh, so he did not find the items in here?
Nope.
No, he found the
got
map
hint.
and found Zelda. And
oh, okay.
Yeah, he got the Silver's Why Elsewhere hint.
That makes more sense, okay.
But yeah, the sword. Like, you had the white sword into the wood sword.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. You seemed a little unhappy with that wood sword.
I'm honestly glad it was there versus the Deadwoods, because I decided to orphan it for the open caves. And it turns out it didn't matter because of the white sword.
Yeah, but it was pretty funny though, because I even pointed out that waterfall was at one of those locations that we had learned was just not spawning a wood sword. So it's nice to know that that glitch has been fixed. So. I think he's close.
Yeah, we gotta go. Yep, right one, bomb up. Don't die to blue wizards. Or you can go up here. I think there's a door on this side.
There we go. Only 4. I don't know if he still has a potion. I believe he's popped at least 1. So this is a tricky fight at this point, but does have magic sword, so just needs to be careful not to take a Ganon hug. Ooh. Ooh.
I almost died again. I got hugged twice.
Yeah, I think if you'd waited any longer on that potion, I think you would have been dead. And then, you know, it's got scary again, you know?
Yeah.
Well, now determined to finish it out.
Yeah, good for him. You know, usually you're very happy to see a clock on a red wizard, but he would have really liked to have seen some health.
Well, with Magical Sword, it's really only 4 hits, so if you just get a little bit of good luck with the pattern...
Yep.
Alright, what do we got here? Dance to the right, so... There you go, left. Hey!
Okay. Got him. I know you always talk about that bottom row. I like that second row. That bottom row is scary.
Oh, I hate the bottom row.
That's what makes some of those water rooms so difficult.
Yeah, if you're feeling really adventurous, you can kind of go just to the right of where he would spawn, but normally that's best served for Red Ring territory when you can afford him going right immediately.
Fortunately, he has a path to Zelda, so this won't take him much longer.
Oh, the path to Zelda is much less deadly.
As long as, assuming, at least this path, apparently, if the other path isn't a thing.
Let's take a look. Is there a shutter door on the other side? Nope.
Nope, this was the only path. Okay.
So 2D flute required, I think.
Yeah. 131.11 for Mocco. GG's.
That makes me feel better, because dying in that wizard room was not ideal.
No. Actually, as it turned out, maybe it was, because it put you back to start and on the right path. We do have Mocco joining us. GG's.
Thank you, GG's, Caffy.
GG, Mocco.
So, yeah, I mean, you probably can imagine the biggest difference in this. Those silvers, you both died in the silvers room. Caffy a little bit earlier than you did. It looked like when you died the first time, it looked like you were trying to get out of the room to save it and just didn't quite make it. A fireball got you. And then it wasn't until we thought when you got the magic sword you might go back to it. But then it wasn't until you actually saw the silvers lie elsewhere that you went back.
Did you go to 9 with silvers then, Caffy?
Yeah, I had dug. I redug because I had pinpointed that room. I had saw all 3, and then let's see, in between getting the recorder and Triforce out of 4, and then the any key and Triforce out of 2, I went back to 3.
Yeah, that room was just sitting there, burning a hole in my brain of, do I want to go back and do it? And yeah, I mean, I had the health and the mags at the end there, and that clearly wasn't the... I mean, the walk to 9 wasn't easy, but we both had to do it at least once. But yeah, I had to do that twice. That wasn't the difference, I would guess. I took some valiant, untimely deaths. That never feels good, and I just got tilted in 9. I saw you finished, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna play this out, but kind of haphazardly. So sorry for the crappy ending.
Well, let's back up a step here. As far as untimely death goes, I don't know what your total ended up being pre-9, but I would say both of you probably were victim of maybe trying to go too fast, knowing who you're up against, and both probably took deaths you'd like to have back in that one. I think that's pretty fair. I don't think it was really... It wasn't necessarily the death the first time in that room. It's just the fact that you then had to go clear like level 1's items, for example. So you went from being a little bit ahead maybe before that point to being a little bit behind, and then the right order of 9 to Ganon at minimum probably helped Caffy a little bit. And then I want to say just the fact that like he just basically went the right direction 6 immediately. I think you went immediately right, found the compass, went down to, got the Triforce, never went back. Versus like an additional 6 or 7 rooms, that probably also gained another minute or two. So the lead was kind of established in a couple of just right order to Triforces. And that doesn't even include the Wall Master into the Triforce in 7 kind of situation that happened to then put Caffy back on the right direction to that Triforce. So just a couple of those things happened along the way that ran you out of time to be able to avoid that 3 single room.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can come down to a overworld spot that you leave behind, a dungeon you save till the end. Sometimes it can be a room with... How many dark nuts were in there? Like 6 or 8? 6, I think.
6 maybe?
4
I'm not sure if
BMOs.
it's right.
Quad shooter, blue dark nuts. Yeah, I should have, And so, in that case, you're right, Fury. Like, I am not poking around in 1 at all. It's Triforce and go at that point. I wasn't really poking around in 6, but I wasn't sure at that point. And yeah, not getting that. I was trying to not go right in that dungeon because of the blue Lamola that I had seen the first time in, and didn't realize there was a room below there with another blue Lamola. I don't know where the randomizer is putting maps these days. I think the map in, was it 2? You had to take transport and the very last room to pass the Triforce. I think there was a little wingaling below the Triforce. And I don't know. I thought maps were supposed to be...
Yeah, we've been told that they're not supposed to be on more than 1 bomb hole, and I mean, I haven't proved it necessarily that isn't true, but I don't buy it.
It is not true that that's always the case, because there also has to be an accommodation for the compass, the map, and the Triforce, and those can overrule keys and bombs. So once that happens, then everything can go haywire in a hurry, especially in a segmented 2.
Yeah, I mean, the map in 2, the troll transport in 8.
Do we want to talk about that map of 8?
What's that?
Do we want to talk about that map of 8 for a moment?
Map of 8 was impressive.
Well, those types of things, it's like, well, I know Caffy's feeling the same pain, unless you by chance did not take the Triforce or the transport and somehow right ordered that. That was a mess. I felt good early. It's odd. I usually struggle early game, and when I get restreamed, I'm usually a little nervous at the beginning. I don't know why, but I hit the gambling game. It was able to get a candle and a ladder within
that was cool.
what felt like the first 10 minutes, and just finding all those dungeons up in the northeast and coming out clean.
And the white sword Armos item.
Yeah, so like early game felt really good, but then you're starting to look at the clock. I hadn't found 9. I hadn't found 1. All that was left was the raft spots and DM and a couple of random recorder spots. And it's like that happens in these flags when you get the overworld items when it's mixed, right? You look and say, well, shoot, I got 2 orphan spots over there. I got 2 over here. Yeah, and I took a death at Grave Power Bracelet spot. I mean, I don't know what it was. Every single Lionel was lined up on the left. Usually they split a little bit, but nope, they were all on the one side. But playing against Caffy, I think you're also right, Fury. A 2 for 2 and me saying you're right. I was trying to go a little too fast at times. I know who my opponent is. He's obviously one of the best runners out there. I know that I can beat anybody on any given night if I keep the mistakes minimum, and I just didn't keep enough of them minimized. And yeah, I mean, in hindsight, I calmed the game 2 nights ago, and it was level 3 as well. It was the ladder, and the one runner took too long to get back there, and there I am doing the same thing tonight. So yeah, it happens. But I like those seas, to be honest. I like them when they get a little more challenging, and and playing against a great runner, and knowing we're both going through a lot of that same pain. But just a couple of stupid little mistakes I made, that's all.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that level 8, because when Fury went in there, when Caffy went in there the first time, he took that transport, found the map, and since he didn't know at the time the requirement for level 9, just immediately noped out. The second time he went in, didn't even take the stair. Ran into that shoot room from the other side. I thought that was a pretty funny moment.
Oh, and yeah, that's right. I didn't mark the shoot room, so if you wondered why was Mocco going back in the shoot room, I couldn't remember if there was.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, and I've played this game enough times that if you're not sure, check.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're not sure you marked an overworld spot, don't assume you did, and those always seem to be the ones that come back and get you. So. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good if I get an early ladder and the early candle and white sword. Like, let's go. But I know, Caffy, you probably been talking for 10 minutes. So, what did you think of the seed? High level from 30,000 foot.
Well, I had my own share of struggles. I gambled like you did, but I did not win. I died on the Death Armor screen, so it took me 2 trips to find out that's where my candle was. Yeah, struggles in 3, struggles in 2, kinda. Double dipped 8, even though the first one really didn't count much, as I didn't really do much the first time. But yeah, I guess they have already covered it. The right order in 6, the right order in 9 just did it for me.
Did you full clear Overworld? Other than maybe the Coast Raft?
Coast Raft and then the Forest, the recorder spots. So
okay, yeah.
I got the Raft out of 8 and then just immediately went to Vanilla 4 and just happened to find one there, so I didn't have to do anything more out of that.
Gotcha, yep. If it was close at all, then it's good. Didn't want to put on a blowout.
It was close, and until the end.
Yeah.
I mean, you were 9 before Caffy finished, so that.
It wasn't really over.
The silvers, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even really over when he had Ganon down and a Zelda quadrant hint, because there wasn't a guaranteed path that was going to be free.
Yep.
With Wizrobes in there, you just never know what the path's going to be like, and because neither one of you had any ring of any type, and both of you were either about to spend your last potion or had already done so, any of that combat block on the way to Zelda is potentially bad. But it just so happened that the way there was just a single Dig Dogger, I think, that was blocking the way as far as major noteworthy.
Dig Dogger
enemies.
hit the map, didn't it?
Yeah. It was either in that room
like
or
that.
nearby, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just, again, a little bit of right ordering in dungeons, and I don't, again, up until maybe choosing 9 over 3, I don't think you made the wrong play to kind of orphan the 1 check for a little while. Definitely think clearing, at least trying to find one and clear one was definitely the good play. And again, we kind of thought maybe when you got 6 done that you were going to go to 3 and just clean that
and the
one room
magic
up.
sword.
Yeah, the
You know,
magic
you could-
sword, I thought once you got that as well,
Yep.
that was probably the play. And then you went to 9. Like, well, I guess with the book, he's kind of just hoping maybe he gets a silver as a 9 hint or gets turned around immediately in the worst case scenario, which did happen. So that ultimately didn't cost you all that much time. I think the time loss was adding up just a little bit before that to create the issue. So
Yeah.
it was a fun race in the end. Again, you got back into 9. Could have maybe sniped Caffy if the combat was awful that direction. You both probably would have had a little bit more fun than you really wanted to have at that point. The nerves really would start racking up.
Yeah, it's not a fun 9 until you found at least 5 transports, and we did. So, yeah.
Well, somewhere
thank
somebody
you.
was laughing at both of you, so don't worry. She's,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sure, enjoying
Thank you,
herself.
thank you both for the comms. I don't know. Oh, Diesel Pilot for the tracking, and GG Caffy. First time I think head-to-head in a tournament. So, GG's, and good luck in the 2-0. We'll see what the wheel has in store for both of us.
Yeah, same to you, Mocco. And I'm gonna echo a sentiment for the restream. Thank you guys. Thank you, Diesel Pilot. You guys are awesome.
you
Truant
both.
has been clamoring in chat for the last 5 minutes about calling someone out in the 2-0, so we'll see if the wheel provides that outcome for him. We're really just kind of killing a couple more minutes because we've got 2 more streams on the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
One, I believe, is SpeedGaming Main. One is Zelda 1 Randomizer. Both of them really fun matchups. We got a Chrono JJ and Shaddy sighting on the Zelda 1 Randomizer side. We've got I believe, Jay Coper and Eat My Steel in like 13 minutes over on SpeedGaming Main. So again, 2 really fun and interesting matchups there. So be sure to go that direction once we conclude here, and you'll get some more randomizer action there.
Oh, so what time, Fury, does the midnight race start?
Well, hopefully at midnight. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to watch it. But yeah.
I had to get it in. Well, thanks,
Oh.
everybody. It's late here in the East, so thanks again, everybody, and GG's. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next round.
All right, and yeah, that's gonna do it for us. We didn't shout out Diesel Pilot yet. Definitely want to shout him out for doing the tracking. Tracker's always our MVP, and Fury, always a pleasure. Always enjoy doing commentary. I feel like I learned something when we do commentary together, so that's awesome as well. Thank you very much, and hopefully we get to do it again soon.
Yep, I even learned something today with the Armo statues.
Yeah. Although Jay Coper gave us that one.
Yep.
Shout outs to Jay Coper, and good luck to him and everybody else who's playing tonight. But yeah, we'll see you all on the other channels. Otherwise, good night, everybody.
Yep, good night.